I always find it interesting when I hear people self-describe their politics. Ask a conservative what makes a conservative and a liberal what makes a liberal, and you'll get different answers from different people. It's weird when I can find common ground on issues with a person who I'm pretty sure lives in another universe on the other side of the political spectrum, and I regularly do. Well, as a self-described liberal, I've got a message for all the armchair quarterbacks who are criticizing the Jon Ossoff and Joe Manchins of the world. I think Eddie Murphy said it best. How about you have a Coke, a smile, and you shut the fuck up? I'm seeing all these experts hating on the people who tried, the people who didn't necessarily espouse all of their ideals. One activist, Winnie Wong, told the Guardian newspaper, quote, "This is a massive failure of the DNC leadership. They enabled the same old pattern and the same old way of doing things. It was a retrenchment. It was like Act 2 of 2016. Oh, you were to Occupy Wall Street 10 years ago. What have you done since then? If we were talking about taking down Debbie Wasserman Schultz, I'd definitely be right there with you. She was horrible. But we're not talking about her, and we're not because some people got together and helped push her out the fucking door. Here's the thing. It's always easy to criticize. Everybody's an expert. Well, guess what, folks? We've had 4 special elections in the days of Trump, and Democrats have lost them all. We had James Thompson, a dynamic, progressive choice in the Bernie mold, lose in Kansas. They blamed the DNC. We saw Rob Quist, a very popular local progressive in the Bernie mold, lose in Montana. They blamed the DNC. We saw Archie Parnell, the least known Democrat in the bunch, run, and he lost by 3 points. I'm not sure I've heard the naysayers say anything, thank God. And of course, we had the most expensive congressional race in history, Jon Ossoff, a middle-of-the-road moderate versus Karen Handel, and he lost by 3 points. Now, they all lost. The Bernie-type progressive lost. The middle-of-the-road, I'll work with anybody to help my district guys lost. Armchair quarterbacks are the worst. There's a car in the ditch, we're trying to get it out, and instead of picking up a shovel, they're complaining about the technique. Well, pick up a shovel. Make the revolution happen. I'm all for it. You have people across the country paving the way forward. You got Seattle, New York City, San Francisco, Los Angeles. They've all passed legislation for a $15 minimum wage. And by the way, you can thank a union member and some gutsy progressives for that. But they got shit done. They didn't just sit on their couch telling people how much better they could have done it. They fucking did it. So you want to make the world a better place? Go to it. Show us. But you're missing the boat if you think the problem is having differences of opinions with politicians like Joe Manchin or even a guy like Jon Ossoff. The problem isn't disagreeing with someone who's just representing their constituents. The real issue is putting party over country, or worse, putting one's own interests over the people. I'll take a Joe Manchin any day of the week over a guy like Cory Booker. You want to know why? Joe Manchin is the most progressive West Virginian in his state in politics. Trump won his state by 31 points. Joe Manchin is a good, honest guy who doesn't block progressive legislation. He just votes against the stuff that doesn't represent his constituents, and I'm all right with that. So go on and do good, represent your people. A guy like Cory Booker? He's just a fake progressive who does a few good things, but for the most part, he's a shill for business interests like Big Pharma, AIPAC, hedge funds, and the list goes on and on. He's a wolf in sheep's clothing. And if anyone needs to go, it's the single black Democratic senator from New Jersey who wouldn't even support President Obama's Iran peace deal until the very, very, very last day. You can throw a rock and hit 10 liberals in New Jersey. They're a dime a dozen in New Jersey. So fuck Cory Booker. What we need is good governance. What we need are honest people representing their constituents. I respect a guy like Walter Jones in North Carolina who will vote against his party even though I disagree with his politics 1,000 times over. We need a guy like Bernie Sanders who will vote against his caucus. We need a woman like Elizabeth Warren who will literally attack a Democratic administration for bad governance in full view. We need a Joe Manchin and a Kamala Harris and an Amy Klobuchar. We need good governance, and we need people to pick up shovels and to get to work to save our union from the most dangerous threat it has faced since the Civil War. We need to impeach President Trump and stop him from weakening our democratic institutions like the FBI, courts, ACLU, the media, etc., or we won't have a democracy to fight for. My name is Daniel Goldman. This is Content.News, where we are always free to share the truth.